Do that. And let's go ahead and get started. So welcome, 42-day detoxers. I want this to be as interactive as I can. So please, if you have any questions at all, be sure you should be able to hit chat on the bottom of your screen if you're on your phone or just a computer, laptop, and ask any questions at all. So if you have questions, go ahead and write them now so you don't forget, or just as they pop into your head, go ahead and ask them then. Let me move this back a little bit. I don't need to be that close to you. No offense. All right, there we go. Cool. So I put together a presentation, and what I strongly believe is we could give you the perfect nutrition plan. We could give you the perfect fitness plan, but it's all what goes on up here that actually gets the results. It's funny. So I've been doing a lot of polls lately, and I asked over 20,000 people, literally over 20,000 people, what is your main thing stopping you from reaching your goals, reaching the health results that you want? And it was crazy. Not one person said anything about fitness. It was all about either nutrition. I put in two different categories. There was a nutrition category, a fitness category, and just kind of a mindset category. Every single answer fell in between the mindset and the nutrition category. So either everybody already knows how to work out, so they don't need any help with that, or people just realize that the majority of the results is in themselves and it's self-sabotaging, and it has a lot to do with kind of the mindset. Very rarely someone said, like, it was the knowledge part with nutrition. It was all like things that had to do with nutrition that ultimately went back to just kind of the way they thought, people they hung out with, so on and so forth. So good. I see some questions coming up. Hopefully you guys can't see this. I want it to be as private as possible. If people can't see that, I'm sorry. How many glasses of water? We'll get to that. Chat is disabled. No, it's not. You're writing right now. But my biggest issue. Awesome. So please ask a million questions. I'm going to actually put up a poll right now. Got it, Misty. So in this poll, I'm launching it. I really don't know how this works. Hopefully you guys can see it, and it just kind of shows me the live stats, but it's pretty much says, how close are you following your nutrition plan? 1 being terrible, 10 being awesome AF, as an anatomy fitness, of course. And just said there's 3 different things, 1 to 4, 5 to 7, 8 to 10. Right now it's 50% on 5 to 7 and 8 to 10. So I'll just leave that going, look at it later. So again, I put together a presentation. I'm going to kind of go through, and then I'm going to answer all your questions. And the purpose of this, I don't think I've done this. It was actually something I found. So it's like anatomy branded, but I might have done it like a year ago, but I'm not sure. I cut out some things and just kind of put the important stuff in it. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the presentation, and we'll get rocking. Just kidding. Bear with me. I promise I semi-know what I'm doing. Awesome. I see the questions adding up. Keep asking questions. I will get to them all. There we go. All right. You guys should be able to see this. I kind of skipped over me. You guys already know who I am. And let's get into it. So Part of the biggest things I see is, cool. When it comes to nutrition, when it comes to working out, when it just comes to reaching results, the main things that has to do with is really just being intentional. Um, and this could answer some questions already, but just like when it comes to a lot of times people have a hard time getting enough protein in. And it's not that it's hard to get a lot of protein in, you just have to be intentional with what you're eating. For example, instead of just eating oatmeal, you just have to take an extra 1-2 minutes and think about what protein can I add to this oatmeal. It could be protein powder. That's what I do. It could be eggs. It could be many things. So it's just kind of being more intentional with what we choose instead of just choosing things. So that's what I'm going to go over, how we can become more intentional. If I could make this work. Hold on, I can't see anything. No. I got so many things on my screen. You go up there. I'm going to talk to myself for a little bit. Perfect. You stay there. And then there we go. You could hide out down there. All right. I don't know if you guys could even see my screen, but I was moving things around. So the law of intentionality, when you are losing, everything hurts. And why is that? So as I said right here, if you have not been on the right plan for X amount of years, how long will you give yourself to be where you want to be? So just recently, someone came up to me. They were interested in one of our 6-week challenges, and they just said their biggest problem is that they never follow through, is that they expect results extremely quick. And as this person was saying it, she knew that was her biggest problem. And she just said, I've tried so many things and nothing has worked for me. And then I asked the question, what's the longest that you actually stuck with something to see if it would work or not? And it wasn't more than a month. So you have to ask yourself this, if you have not been eating or been on the right plan for so many years, how long will you give yourself? So if you're 40 years old and you've never worked out in your life and you've never actually looked up nutrition advice, seeked out help for 40 years, that is literally 40 years of not being on the right plan. You might not have been overweight those entire 40 years, but you were not on the right plan for 40 years. So you're readjusting your entire life after 40 years to start getting results. So how long are you going to give yourself? Is it going to be another 40 years? Which it won't take that long, but you have to be more realistic. And I think we already know that. So I put this in here because a lot of the biggest struggles people do is, or that makes them not get the results they want, is fear. And this was me for a long time as well. I think every single person could relate to this in some way, somehow. It could be in business, it could be in health, it could be in our relationships, whatever it may be. So fear of failure. So I see this every single week now, ever since we started these 6-week challenges, only because people don't want to put up the money because they're scared, because they fear that they won't hit their goal. Or even worse, people are all in, they get started, and then the day before they back out. And the only reason they back out is because they let fear catch up to them. They're scared of failing. And it's not their fault. Like, this happens so much to all of us. We've tried things for so long and we failed many times before. So why would this one be any different? So the fear of failure stops people. I mean, we hear this all the time. The fear of failure actually stops people more than the actual action of failure, because when people start and people are consistent, it's an extremely low percentage of people who actually fail. Just by getting started, you have a higher percentage of succeeding. So fear of failure is a big thing. Fear of trading security for the unknown, right? So we're in our relationships already. what's going to happen if we lose an extra 20 to 40 pounds? Is our spouse going to look at us differently? Am I going to act differently? Are our kids going to act differently? And this is a huge common fear for a lot of people. Fear of being overextended on resources. A lot of times people don't want to commit. A lot of times people are scared to start something new because I have too much work to do. I have kids' practices. I have zero time, right? I have no time to do anything else. And because we're in that mindset, because we let that fear take over our lives, is the biggest reason why we don't see results. We use those as reasons of not getting results instead of reasons to get results. So being overextended on resources, fear of what others think. Yeah, I mean, this one's really self-explanatory, but I know this was a big one for me because so when I started my results, many of you have heard the story thousands and thousands of times. I was still in my party phase. So I was scared to transition my whole lifestyle because of what other people would think. Like, oh, Luke's not partying with us anymore. He's the gym guy now, whatever it may be. And I was scared of what people think. And this actually went into the fear of failure too, because I was psyching myself out. Like, what if I do all of this stuff, change my lifestyle, stop hanging out with people that I hang out with for years, and I still don't get results? They'll just be laughing at me, right? And you guys may be kind of in the same situation as well, where whatever that is, just scared of what other people may think. And of course, fear of pushing others away, which this one was probably for me the biggest one. Again, like I said, like every single one of my friends, every single one of them, all we did was drink almost every single day. Because I mean, at this time when I started getting my health results and changing, I was 25 years old. So from age 20 to 25, all I did was party. Monday, margarita Mondays, woohoo, taco Tuesdays, wine on Wednesdays, thirsty Thursdays, Friday, Saturday, there's parties, Sunday, fun day. And it was just a continuous cycle of doing the same thing with the same people over and over again. So I didn't have any good influences in my life. I had to be the person to break away from it on my own, just hoping I got results. Not 100% sure know what I was doing, but just following the successful people that were in front of me and going off what they said to do. And I just did it and it all worked out. But this is a huge fear because people don't want to lose their friends. And I can promise you, you are going to lose friends. Like, it's inevitable. If you want to fully reach your body's potential, what you have in your mind on how you want to look, if you truly want to reach that, you are going to lose friends. That, or they're going to join you and your guys are going to be stronger. But it's most likely the other way because it's very hard for people to change. So you have to make that conscious decision to do it by yourself no matter what. And that's what I had to do. And I lost a lot of friends. Now, they don't hate me for any reason. I don't hate them, but we definitely do not hang out anymore. If we do, it's like once every 3 or once every 6 months, just because we're on two different lifestyles. They want to go out and drink and I don't. I want to stay home with my family. And it's just a continuous thing. So these are the biggest fears on what stops people mentally on reaching their goals. So now that you know it, if one of these hits you or multiple hit them, now you can be more intentional on achieving the success, on getting over it, or on how to face the fear your way. You don't have to do it my way. My way was my way and it worked for me. But you have to figure out what works for you and, of course, face it. Now, another part of being intentional, we have to find out who we are. Now, what it comes down to is there's 3 types of people. People who don't know what they want. Wait, hold on. People who don't know what they would like to do. I can't even read. And so these type of people, they're confused, right? These are the type of people who I offer them that they come into the gym. I sit down with them, go over their goals, go over everything with them, explain. They give me their problems. I give them every solution to their problem. and yet they have to think about it. And yet they still don't know what to do. These people are extremely confused. Um, and this is why they just don't get results, is because they truly don't know what they want, um, for many reasons. So that's one type of person, people who don't know what they would like to do. The second type of person, people who know what they want but don't do it. So now I know I'm guilty of this many times. I know people listening right now that are at our gym are guilty of this so many times. And these are the frustrated people. These are the people who blame their situations on other things than themselves. The moment, the moment you take 100% responsibility for everything that happens in your life is the moment your life gets amazing. Is the moment, instead of saying, I worked 70 hours a week, there's nothing I could do, you could say, I chose to work 70 hours a week. How can I make health and fitness a priority outside of that? And the moment you take 100% responsibility is the moment you're going to start seeing the results that you've never seen before. And it's extremely frustrating because everyone listening to this knows exactly what to do. And if you're not getting results, then I guarantee you're frustrated on the inside. Um, like I have been many times. I know what to do, but why don't I just do it? I follow it. My spouse wants to go get ice cream, so I go get ice cream. They want to eat out, so I eat out. And I know I'm not supposed to, but it's so frustrating when I do because it's not truly when I wanted to do it. I just gave in to temptation. And then the last type of person, people who know what they want and do it. These are the people that are fulfilled. Um, they know they're supposed to eat 3 times a day. They know they're supposed to have 2 snacks throughout the day, and they do it and they get amazing results and they're extremely happy, and life keeps going on and on and on. And one success habit leads on to another success habit, and it just keeps on going. Um, don't worry, we're almost through this. And then the other type of intentionality. So this is probably the most important slide on here. The biggest thing to wrap our mind around. And it's just the difference between setting goals, being goal conscious, and growth conscious. And what we want to do is move from goals to growth. Reason being, take the 6-week challenge, for example. Many people, when they start the challenge, they have a goal. Of course, because we set it. So maybe we're kind of self-sabotaging you guys. But their goal is so set on that number. And the moment they hit that number, when they succeed after the challenge, they start losing the results. And it's because they were more goal-oriented instead of growth-oriented. They weren't focused on bettering themselves. They were focused on hitting a goal. And I'll just kind of walk through this on what kind of the difference is. So if you're goal conscious, you focus on the destination. So right now, if your goal is to like lose 40 pounds, and that's all you're thinking about, man, I gotta lose 40 pounds. I gotta lose 40 pounds. I gotta lose 40 pounds. That is being goal conscious. If you're growth conscious, you're focusing on the journey it takes to lose that 40 pounds. Like, who do I need to become to lose 40 pounds? Do I need to follow this nutrition plan? Do I need to work out so many times a week? Focusing on the journey, the ups and the downs, because there's plenty of both throughout the journey of being growth conscious. And goal conscious motivates you and others. Growth conscious, it matures you and others. Growth goals are seasonal. If you're growth conscious, it's a lifelong type of thing. You're focusing on your life goals, not just this is how I want to look for summer type of thing. Goals challenge you. It's very challenging to reach a goal. But if you're focused on growth, it will actually change you. Goals stop when the goal is reached, kind of how I talked about earlier. Growth keeps growing beyond the goal. So if your goal, so of course you need goals, but that's not the main conscious you want to achieve. So let's say your goal is to lose 40 pounds. So you set that goal, but the entire time you're focused on growth, by the time you hit that 40 pounds, you're going to have another goal you're trying to reach. And it's going to be easy, so easy to maintain that 40-pound loss because you're actually changed as a person throughout that entire journey. You weren't the same person who just struggled to lose 40 pounds. you change an entire lifelong journey of yourself to become that person who's 40 pounds less. If your goals, you wait for growth to come. If your growth, you take responsibility to grow. Kind of like what I was also saying earlier, just take 100% responsibility of everything that happens in your life. Goals, you learn only from mistakes. This was a huge one for me. And growth, you learn before mistakes. So the biggest problem in any area of our life is we make a mistake and then we learn from it. Hopefully we learn from it, right? When what happens is there's millions and billions of people that came before us. And some of those people, being super grateful to them, actually wrote books. They wrote articles on the internet. They became trainers. So they already made the mistakes for us. So all we have to do is listen to them and not make the same mistakes. We don't have to make mistakes ourselves. We could learn exactly what the successful people do, listen to their mistakes and be like, hey, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this instead. And it's just, that's how you get extremely fast results. And of course, goals depend on good luck. Like, oh, I this next 2 months, just kind of, I had good luck. The timing of everything was perfect. When your growth, you rely on hard work. Yes, I got injured. Yes, work gave me overtime. Yes, my kids have practice every single night, but I'm not going to use that as an excuse. I'm going to work even harder to make this happen. And I believe this is the last slide. Just kind of, this is also a huge thing. And awesome, guys, I see the questions adding up. I will get to them all. Or if you just have comments, feel free to do comments as well. Has your why been strong enough? So this is definitely the biggest thing to consider, because when you do not feel like working out, when you don't feel like eating the right thing, you should be able to rely on your reason why you started to get you over that hump. When you have sweet cravings, when anything you could think of, why did I start? And that should give you enough power and passion to keep going. So here's some questions you could ask yourself. Do you constantly procrastinate on the important tasks? Do you require coaxing to do small chores? Do you need me to text you every week that you should be coming 3 times a week? Do you perform duties just to get by? Meaning, do you just work out so you could eat something bad? Do you just do it because you're supposed to? Do you constantly talk negatively about working out or nutrition? That's a huge one. It's like, man, I hate working out. I'm just doing it so I hit the goal, right? Do efforts of friends to encourage you irritate you instead? I can't tell you how many times this has happened. Not to me. I actually feel like I'm pretty, at least when it comes to nutrition, fitness, I'm good with this part. But my dad has been overweight my entire life growing up, and he would start a new diet. He would start a new workout plan, and he would tell us to keep him encouraged, to hold him accountable. And some of you guys may be laughing on the other side right now, because you might have done this to your family, or someone in your family done it to you. And you do that. You hold them accountable. And what do? They get mad at you. And you're like, all right, fine, you're on your own. So do you get irritated when people try to encourage you? Do you start routines and abandon them? Do you avoid self-improvement opportunities? Kind of like these things, like right now. I posted this link to every single person, and many people just won't watch this, or won't ever watch this, because they just don't, it's just not something they like to do. So it's just not going to improve them. They still want to focus on just their goals and do it their own way. And then lastly, if you develop the habits of success, you'll make success a habit. And this is also a huge thing. Like, a lot of times people look at fitness professionals, personal trainers, whatever it may be, and they say, man, it's so easier for you. It must be easier for you. And it's not at all. I promise you it's that. We just have done it for so long that it has become a habit. We created a lifestyle. So if something crazy in our life happens, like if a family member passes away, if our someone loses a job, if we get injured, we still find a way to work out. No matter what life hits us with, we still work out because that is a part of our lifestyle. Just like if you go to work all the time, if any of those things happen to you, you still go to work. Now you may be thinking, well, yeah, because I need money, but it's also because of your lifestyle, because it's just what you do. And that's what you need to make fitness and nutrition a part. You need to make it a lifestyle. So no matter what happens in your life, you still follow this lifestyle of health. Like, I don't even think about eating every 3 hours now. It just comes naturally. And trust me, it wasn't like that my whole life. I actually was kind of chubby my entire life until I decided to not be. So what do we do next? So next steps, find out what you need to be more intentional about. Find your why. So if you answered no or yes to any of those questions, that why is not strong enough. You need to find a new why. The best thing I heard was, if the only way you know if your why is strong enough is if it makes you cry. Your why should make you cry. Like thinking about why you truly want to get healthy, why you truly want to lose the weight, get results. If it doesn't start making you feel emotional, it's not strong enough. It's just something you told yourself on, oh yeah, that's a good reason why. And that's why. So if that is not you, find your reason why, and then focus more on growth instead of just the goals. And then week 5 accountability, we're going to be drinking water, at least half your body weight in ounces. And then if you need more Herbalife, if you need more supplements, please let me know. I know it's been 4 weeks since every single person has ordered. So if you've been following your nutrition plan and you've been taking it right, it's time to order some more. So let me know if you need it to finish off the next 2 weeks strong. So I'm going to stop sharing this. I'm going to open up to some questions. So now if you guys have any questions at all, anything, please ask away. And it looks like the poll after 24 minutes, 80% of the people did their nutrition plan is between 5 to 7 good. And we have 40% that are 8 to 10 good. So good. That's kind of what I was expecting. I was expecting the majority to be 5 to 7 and the rest to be 8 to 10, which is very common. It's not like boo on you, but it's good to know where you guys stand. All right, I'm gonna open up some questions. How many glasses of water do you recommend we drink daily? Is it different the days we are working out? Great question, and yes. So the biggest thing, so when it comes to drinking water, you want to drink at least, the minimum should be at least half your body weight in ounces of water. I forgot what I was saying. I saw something else and it distracted me. Yeah, so if you weigh 200 pounds, you need to drink 100 ounces of water a day. So if you're a 200-pound person, all I do to make it easy, I do 100 divided by 16. Why 16? Because that is water bottles. Or if you have like something that you drink every single day anyways, and it's like 24 ounces, 32 divided by that. So if you're 200 pounds, you need to drink about 6.5 of these bottles every single day. And that's minimum. That's the minimum. So just to stay hydrated. The more you weigh, the more you need to drink to stay hydrated. And then to answer your second question, is it different days on days we're working out? Yes. So again, that's the minimum, half your body weight in ounces. And then you need another cup of water for every hour you work out. You need another cup of water for every cup of coffee you drink. Tea, pretty much anything that kind of dehydrates you need another water to replenish, another cup of water to replenish that. The biggest mistake I see is people will weigh themselves in the beginning of a workout and then do the workout, come after, weigh less, and they're happy, thinking that they actually lost weight. Yes, you lost weight on the scale, but you did not lose like actual fat. All you did was lose water. So to know you're properly hydrated, you should weigh the exact same from the beginning of the workout to the end of the workout. That means throughout the workout, you kept hydrating yourself. And I know that's going to disappoint a lot of people. I'm sorry. My biggest issue is staying on track during the weekends. Any tips? It is tough. That really just comes down to the why, really. the reason why you want to be healthy during the weekend. One big thing that I did, so like going back to my story, I think I'm right here, of course. So if you remember this, so for those of you who have never heard my story, nope, that's not one. This picture right here was me already working out for over 5 years. Like literally, so I'm 25 in both of these pictures. This picture right here, I was working out 5-6 days a week. I never missed a week, never missed a workout for 5 years straight. And you may be thinking, wow, yeah, I mean, you're not overweight, you look good. But to me, I felt terrible because this is exactly how I looked 5 years when I started. So for 5 years in a row, I did not see any results. Of course, I got stronger. Just by working out, it makes you feel better just because of all the blood flow and everything that happens. But I was not happy. And so this is when I made the conscious decision to change. You can see how happy I am. A little smile. I always have some kind of little smile on. And this picture from this picture took about 3.5 months. Crazy. I was trying to look like this for 5 years, never made it happen. I decided to change. And then 3.5 months later, it happened. So I forgot. Oh, yeah. So the reason I brought this up, so for me being 25, I just wanted to look good and I was tired of being tired. So that was my biggest why. I know it's sad. But it was enough for me. But when it comes to eating healthy on nutrition, so when I was going through this, again, I was partying nonstop in this picture. You could see that's probably why, because it's just full of beer and fast food. But when I first started, and I ate perfect Monday through Friday. Like when I started, like it was perfect Monday through Friday. And then the weekend came and it turned into a cheat day. Like I literally ate 3 fast food meals every Saturday. And I probably woke up Sunday on most days and also had fast food. I'm not even joking either. And then what happened was I feel so disgusting. I go Monday, say I'll never do that again. And then I eat super healthy Monday through Friday. Saturday, I do the exact same thing, 3 meals. I feel disgusting, so I'll never do that again. Come Monday, and I do the exact same thing. And you kind of get it. But what happened was I was still seeing results. It was very slight. It wasn't that. I was still seeing results, like little tiny changes. And then what happened was by the third week or fourth week, it turned into 2 cheat meals in one day. And then it slowly turned into 1. And then I woke up and I felt better. And I just remember the feelings. And that's what happened was when I just, my reasons why just became stronger because I was actually seeing results. So that might be another thing is maybe just the more results you see, the easier it is to actually do it. And then by the end of my actual transformation, my cheat meal was like whole wheat pancakes smothered in peanut butter. And that ended up being my cheat meal. It's really just more carbs. And yeah, so it's very common to not eat healthy on the weekends. I used to be one of them. I still am sometimes. I'm perfect, not even close to it. But you really just have to have a big reason why not to. Treat it like any other day, because it is just like any other day. There's a morning, there's an evening, we go to bed. But hopefully that helped a little bit. Eating enough, that is a big problem. That's probably the biggest problem why people don't see results. And for those of you that come to the gym, which is all of you, you probably hear say that the most is you need to eat more. You need to eat more. And it really just comes down to doing it. This was my biggest problem for a long time. I've been trying to put on more muscle for a long time, and I'm just not eating. I wasn't eating enough. Like I was eating 2,000, 2,200 calories a day, but for my body and my goals, I need about 3,000 calories a day. And I remember it's only been like less than 2 months that I started doing this. So about a month and a half ago, I ate as much as I could. I tracked it all. I looked at it and I was still like 1,000 calories short. I was like, what the heck? How do I eat more? And then I just decided to force myself to do it. And that's what you have to do in the beginning, is just force yourself. 3 hours went by. I was extremely full. I forced myself to eat anyways. And not only just eat, but I ate a large portion. And the craziest thing happened is my muscle was going up and my body fat was going down. And exactly what I knew it would be, but it's all mental. We have to get over that mental thing, because all our lives we said, eat less, exercise more, and you lose weight. And it's just not true. There is some trueness to that, if trueness is a word, but it's not the whole picture. It's not the whole picture. So you just have to force yourself in the beginning. I wish there was a different way, but just do it. Not hungry in the mornings. Have a shake. That's the best thing to do. All I say, if you're not a breakfast person, become a breakfast person. Just you have to have a shake. I mean, you don't have to have a shake, but you have to eat breakfast. The reason why we're not hungry in the mornings, the reason why 3 hours go by and we're not hungry, is because we trained our body for so long not to be hungry. If you skipped, again, going back to like how much time will you give yourself? If you skipped breakfast for 10 plus years, of course you're not going to be hungry, because your body has trained itself not to be hungry, because your body is just trying to survive. That's all our bodies do every day, is try to survive. So if we're not feeding it, it's storing fat to keep us full. So just, again, it just comes down to forcing it in the beginning. Of course, make sure it's healthy. But if you force it, I promise you, we hear this so much, like after 2-4 weeks of consistent eating breakfast, eating every 3 hours, people wake up starving. People who have never ate breakfast in their life, they wake up starving, just because their metabolism is going so fast, at least faster. Can you still grow even if you aren't reaching your goal? Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. So the best thing to do, like, let's say, because there's a lot of, non-scale victories type of thing. But this is a huge thing for me when it comes to like business stuff now. So like many times I won't make more money, but I know I'm changing I think it was like 2016 or 2017. Like it was probably the worst year financially ever, just being a completely open book. But I knew that like that year I dove into personal development. I dove into like changing my mindset for many different things. And what happened is the next year my business blew up. And it's because I was growing as a person, but I wasn't seeing the results. But I wasn't too freaked out because I felt the changes. And that could be the same thing for you when it comes to your health goals. If you know you're slowly changing as a person, if you know you're making the conscious right decisions, but you just aren't seeing the results, I promise you one day you will. And that's the best advice I could give. Like the biggest thing I did when I got my results is or for whatever results you guys want. If it's to lose 20 pounds, look outside. Imagine, like, close your eyes. Imagine yourself 20 pounds less or whatever your goal is. And then start thinking about the day-to-day actions. When that person wakes up, how do they act? What do they eat? Who do they talk to? Who do they hang out with? When that person goes throughout work in the evenings, on the weekends, what does that person do? What do they eat? Who do they hang out with? And if you could answer those questions and live by those answers, you will reach that goal. And that's what I had to do in mine. I was like, okay, I've wanted a six-pack for 25 years. It never happened. And then I just, before I had it, I imagined having it, and I lived my life as if I already achieved the goal. And that's what you have to do. And then if you live your life as if you already achieved the goal, you're going to hit the goal and move past it. I think that's your answer, asking anyways. How often should we work out? How many rest days should we have? I always say at least 3 times a week. You should always do something every day. It doesn't have to be like a full-on workout, but it could be like a walk. You want to be active. You just don't want to wake up, sit in your car, go to work, sit at work, drive home, sit on the couch. Like, you don't want to do that ever, even on your rest days. You want to at least like move, walk around. It doesn't have to be anything big, but it should be something. So yeah, I always say at least 3 times a week of like an actual strenuous workout, to get the blood flowing, to see good results. And the biggest thing is whatever you're going to do the rest of your life, remember, think of it as a lifelong journey. The biggest mistakes people make is when they're, and it's mainly because they're goal conscious, but they want to lose so much weight. So they work out twice a day. They work out every day, twice a day for hours, and they hit their goal. And then the moment they hit their goal, or the moment life gets crazy, they can't keep up working out twice a day for hours. And because it's not realistic. So you want to find out what's realistic for you. Realistic for every single person in the world is working out at least 3 times a week. So that's something you could keep doing your entire life. Is there a thing as too much water? I normally drink 1.5 to 2 gallons. Impressive. And no, there's not. It was funny. I had someone, it was like a question that came up not too long ago, actually. And they're like, I can't drink that much water. And it was like barely a gallon. They're like, I've read all the stuff that I'm going to die. I don't know, something like that. But the truth is, each liver, I believe, can hold up to 5 gallons a day. And I believe we have 2 livers. So that's like 10 gallons a day. So no, it's literally almost impossible to drink too much water unless you literally drink 5 to 10 gallons a day. If you're doing that, then I'll say, yeah, slow down. You don't need that much water. But no, it's nothing to worry about. Cool. That's all the questions I have here. Good questions, everybody. And again, thank you for jumping on. Hopefully this was of some value to you guys. I always try to do that some way, somehow. Other than that, finish off this challenge strong. Let me know if you need more supplements. Don't slack on the supplements. It is so key to get all of your nutrients in, and it's almost impossible to do it without supplements. And again, let's focus on water this week. I'll see you guys soon.